Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Faris bin Kamarudzaman. I am a computer engineering student. The title for my final year project is Performance and Stamina Monitoring System of Football Players. I am supervised by Dr. Ku Nurul Fazira bin Ku Azir. First, let's look at the history of football and its monitoring system. Football is a team sport that plays with a spherical ball. This game played by two teams consists of 11 players. Monitoring and analyzing system is nothing new in a world of football. Actually, during 1950, Charles Reed, a military and an accountant, have created a system that record and analyze the statistics around players' movement on the pitch by manually watch and analyze the football match using pen and paper. By doing this, what has he accomplished? He has created a new football playstyle, which is a long ball game techniques, which are widely used in two-day football games. In modern day monitoring system, they use object detection to monitor and analyze the player's performance. This system uses multiple cameras that installed across the stadium which will capture the player movement. This is the example of monitoring system used by the Germany national football team. The system analyzes player performance from the image captured by the camera. For a small football club, there are several problems on this kind of technology. The first problem is that this kind of technology really costs a fortune to cover the installation and the maintenance costs. This technology also unmovable. Having a technology which are not portable, it is hard for the manager and coaching staff to keep track on the player performance and development. There are some wearable device system that used by the some football club, but this system does not measure and analyze the player's free kick technique. So the objective of this project is to design a system that can represent football players' attribute in form of numbers and values. This will help the manager and coaching staff to evaluate their players. The next objective is to create a wearable device that can be used by small football team to monitor their players' performance. This device should be portable and comfortable to wear. The next objective is to design a system that can help coaching staff of a football team to make training drills more effective. The system should be IoT based so that the players' performance and development can be monitored at anywhere, anytime. In order to develop this project, there are two things need to be investigated and understand. The first one is the football player's performance and attributes. In order to become a football player, the person not just only need to be good at dribbling the ball, but they also need to be good at other multiple attributes. In fact, according to statistics, only 2% of a football match where the player have to dribble the balls. The other 98% of the times require the player to running, sprinting and backpedaling. So, a question arises, what is the main football player's attribute? There are three main attributes of football players: speed, acceleration, and stamina. These three attributes are mandatory for every football player. What is speed, acceleration, and stamina for football players? Speed is the distance traveled by the players divided by the duration of the interval. It tells us on how fast can the player travels. The acceleration is the rate of change in player velocity that allow the player to reach the maximum velocity in a minimum amount of time. The stamina is the assessment of the player's muscular fitness, aerobic fitness, body composition, and flexibility. It shows how long can the players complete the physical demanding task without exhausting. The second part that need to be investigated and understand is the monitoring system based on IoT in football. First, we need to understand what is IoT. IoT is a short term for Internet of Things. It refers to the billions of physical devices around the world that are now connected to the Internet. In football, there are two methods used to monitor the player's performance. First one is by using multi-camera video technology, and the second one is by using wearable device implemented with sensors. The worries on using wearable device instead of multi-camera technology is that the accuracy of a buried. Is it comparable with the data from the multi-camera technology? To answer that, first let's look at the monitoring system using multi-camera technology. This is the example system used by the club like Red Bull Salzburg, Netherlands national football team, Ajax and FC Basel. This system is developed by InMotion. The system consists of three parts: ball tracking system, local position measurement and HD dome camera. Next, let's look at the monitoring system using wearable device. This system example is called Player, that is developed by Catapult. The system consists of wearable device in shape of vest that the player need to wear, and the detection device in shape of oval that will measure the player, that will detect and measure the football player performance, and then update it into the database. This technology used by the football club like Leicester City, LA Galaxy, Ajax, and Atletico Madrid. So to answer the previous question, let's compare the data produced using sensor device and multi-camera technology. A study conducted by Edward Pons on comparing the data produced by GPS device and multi-camera technology. He used Wemo Pro as GPS device and MediCoach system as a multi-camera technology. From the study, he summarized the data collected into the table shown in the screen. He concluded that there are only small difference in the data read from both sensors. This is my SOTA table. There are 4 research that I investigate. Now let's look at the methodology. My methodology split into 4 phases: requirement specification, system design, system development, and system testing. For the first phase, requirement specification, the research need to be done to ensure the compatibility between the component that will be used for the project. In this phase, there are 3 parts that need to be researched: football player attributes, hardware specification, and software specification. For player attributes, the investigation and research on equation and method to calculate the player's speed, acceleration, and stamina need to be done. For the hardware specification, this project will use Arduino MK1000 Wi-Fi as a main board. This board will interact with multiple sensors and module, which is Bluetooth module, accelerometer, gyroscope, and heartbeat sensor. For software specification, we will use Arduino IDE to program the hardware parts, and the Firebase will be used as the platform for monitoring system. For the second phase, the system design, it will separated into 2 parts. For the first part, it is the wearable device. This device consists of 2 parts. The first part is for measure the player performance, and the second part is to measure the player's free kick technique. To measure player's performance, accelerometer and heartbeat sensor are used. There are also a Bluetooth module which will interact with Arduino MK1000 Wi-Fi. All of these components will be attached into the arm sweatband. To measure player's free kick technique, the sensor and module used is gyroscope and Bluetooth module. This component will be attached into the shin guard. For the second part of the system design is the monitoring system. This is the illustration for the monitoring system. For the phase 3, system development, a fully functional prototype will be developed. There are 2 parts of development need to be done: hardware development and software development. For hardware development, the device prototype need to be created and developed. It consists of 2 parts: performance detection part and free kick technique part. For the software development, the monitoring system need to be created and developed. Firebase platform will be used to display the data. For the fourth phase, system testing, the complete prototype for the system will be tested and evaluated. The attribute values received from the sensor will be compared to the values calculated manually using the equation for each attribute. If the data from the system are not similar with the value calculated manually, the system will be tweaked and debugged until the ideal condition reached. In conclusion, after doing the literature review, I noticed that there are limited research on literature related to the football player performance IoT-based monitoring system. So it is necessary to done the research and study on IoT-based monitoring system for football player performance. The improvement need to be made to the system by comparing the previous work pros and cons. In development this in developing this project, I hoping that it will help manager and coaching staff of small football team in monitor their players and players performance and development. That's all from me. Thank you.